Hello and welcome to the most excellent musical Monster Jam. My name is Eddie Rahx and I am the host of the show that focuses on local talent right here in Savannah and across the coastal empire. Today we are focusing on a musician from Hinesville, Georgia that grew up right on beautiful Drones Creek. And who am I talking about? Why, the lovely and talented Sarah Poole. That's right. Sarah Poole is the lead singer for Ember City, and she is quite the songwriter. I had the great fortune of seeing her at the Tybee Post Theater during the Savannah Songwriter series. So you're going to be really fascinated by this wonderful songwriter, beautiful music. And well, let's go get to meet her now. Let's join our own Will Griffiths and Sarah Poole.
My name is Will Griffiths, and this week we have Sarah Poole. How are you doing, Sarah Poole?
Good, thank you.
All right. We're going to start this week with you telling us a little bit about where you grew up and where you're from.
I was raised in Midway, Georgia. My parents still live there. I actually grew up on a little creek called Jones Creek.
Eddie learned how to water ski on Jones Creek, I believe.
I heard that.
There you go.
I always loved music growing up. I was that dorky kid who had to sing songs in middle of class and sing to every Disney musical on the planet. Drove everybody up the wall. And when I was 11, my dad introduced me to a Jewel CD. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best song ever, best music ever. And she played guitar. So I was like, obviously I need to play the guitar, you know. And I was 11 at the time, like all girls my age were like, oh my gosh, makeup, oh my gosh, nail polish. And I was like, I got a guitar. That's awesome. So I got a guitar, saved up my allowance, and taught myself how to play.
Very cool. So where did you go to school?
Well, I went to school in Hinesville mostly, and I was always involved in chorus. I was in chorus in elementary schools, in chorus in middle school, and high school, and I decided to go to college for music as well. So I ended up going to Armstrong, which is in Savannah, and I went to Georgia Southern.
I got you. And what do you do for a living now?
I actually graduated from Georgia Southern with a music education degree. So at the moment, I'm teaching elementary students how to sing and dance and play instruments and all kinds of cool stuff.
Well, that sounds like a really fun job.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
So why did you choose to go to school instead of moving to someplace like Nashville, New York, LA, where there's a big music scene?
Absolutely. Well, I definitely wanted to. My parents have always been huge supporters of my music. They've bought me guitars for Christmas. They've gone to my chorus concerts. They drove me all over the place.
And what's your parents' name?
Kevin and Monica.
There you go.
They made all this. But they were also really level-headed. So they're like, obviously, go follow your dreams, but you also need to put food on the table, because that's what real life is. But obviously, I still wrote while in college, and I got some really cool experiences. I actually got to go to Europe. I got to go to Italy with my college choir, Georgia Southern Chorale. Shout out.
Good deal.
And we actually got to sing for the Vatican. We sang a mass service, so that was a really cool experience.
And did you play guitar during this as well, or did you just sing?
So I was a part of all the choirs at Georgia Southern, but I always wrote on the side. Actually, I even studied opera at Georgia Southern. So when I told my teachers that, hey, I like to write music and sing pop songs, they were like, that's interesting, which is code and education world for not my favorite thing.
Besides singing for the Pope, what else do you do for a living?
I actually teach elementary students, kindergarten through 5th grade, and I teach them how to sing, dance, read music, play instruments.
Tell me about your music. Tell me, how you write your songs, what type of songs you do, how many people are involved in the songwriting process.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So normally when I write a song, I write it by myself, and I usually write the lyrics and the music at the same time. I know a lot of people do one or the other, but I always write it all at the same time, and I always write it by myself. And then I'll pick the songs that I like, and then I'll take them to a studio. And what I've done with my first 2 EPs is that we would hire musicians to come in, studio musicians, and they'll just kind of make up something and add it, and we'll kind of tweak what we like and take out what we don't like until it's this finished product, which I love doing, and I love those EPs.
Yeah, it sounds like fun. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun, yeah.
Yeah.
I've got miles and miles for you. I've got miles and miles for you. I've got miles and miles for you. Oh, 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 oh.
and they're both out on iTunes and Spotify and all that stuff.
And how many people were involved in the process, with the recording process?
The first EP we recorded at Elevated Basement Studio, which is in Savannah, and we used Shane Baldwin, so he was our sound engineer.
I've known Shane since he was 4 years old.
Have you really?
I have, really.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, yeah.
Shane is a character. I love that guy.
Yep.
Shout out.
Yep.
That's going to be my thing. And then we used Colin and Alex, who are both local musicians as well. And then a girl that I went to college with, her name is Carolina. She's Latin, and she played the cello. So that was the first project. So it was just, and Ryan. So very small.
Well, tell us about Ryan. Who's Ryan?
That's my fiance.
Soon we'll be making another run. The love boat promises something for everyone.
Yeah.
So how did you meet Ryan?
We were kind of in each other's extended circles in high school and lost touch. And just somewhere along being in college, we reconnected, and now we're getting married.
And what does Ryan play?
He plays electric guitar and pretty much anything else you put in front of him. It's kind of ridiculous.
So what kind of plans do you have to do with your music? What do you plan on doing?
Sure. Well, I've already done the solo artist thing where I write it all by myself, which I love doing, but at the same time, I kind of feel like I've tapped that out, at least for now, until I get some more years under my belt. So I'm really pushing myself to start writing with people, and one of those people that I've worked with is Ryan, and he actually wrote a complete song on guitar, and then I went back and put lyrics and melody on it separately, which was kind of a weird process, but I'm really excited about sharing that.
I can't wait to hear it. What's the name of the song?
It is called Sinking Feeling.
Aren't you curious to experience this sinking feeling? Oh, the thrill. I'm so addicted.
Sinking Feeling. Very good.
And we're hoping to start recording full band music in January.
And where will you be doing those recordings at?
I'm hoping Elevated Basement, so
Okay.
I'll have to give Shane a call.
All right, tell me some more about your band.
My full band is called Ember City. It's an alternative rock band, and the name is actually based on Savannah. Because Savannah is so beautiful, but as we all know, it's been a little scary lately, kind of scary.
Yeah.
You know, fire can be very beautiful, but you get too close, you can get burnt,
Yeah.
right? So our band's called Ember City, and we're taking a more alternative rock approach. One of our biggest influences right now is Highly Suspect. They actually played at Barrel House a couple months ago, and they're so good. They're going to be so famous, so definitely go check them out.
Where can we get your recordings at, or where can we see your recordings?
Right now, the only music I have online is my solo music, which is available on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Pandora for one of the EPs, and my website, which is sarahpoolemusic.com. The band, right now, we just have YouTube videos, which you can see on our Facebook site, which is Ember City on Facebook. So.
Now, is it hard to get the song on Pandora?
Actually, you know, Pandora's a little strange. You just submit your song to them,
Yeah.
and then within a couple weeks to a couple months, they just send you an email that says yes or no. And if
Really?
they say no, they don't tell you why.
Okay.
There's like no.
Did you get some no's from them before you got a yes?
My first EP was actually no, and I was kind of surprised.
Yeah.
But they did take my second EP, which I did in Nashville.
Yeah.
So,
Well, great.
yeah.
Well, great. And where did you record it in Nashville?
It was actually a home studio,
Yeah.
and the whole thing is a little strange. My dad works for Yancey Brothers Caterpillar
Yeah.
in Poole, and one of the guys who works with him, his name is Mickey, he's a songwriter.
Oh, Mickey.
You don't know Mickey.
I don't know Mickey. Go ahead.
He's a songwriter, so
Yeah.
he goes to Nashville, and he knows a man named Walt Peters, who actually had a little bit to do with getting George Strait started. Like, he actually knew him in the military in Hawaii like a bajillion years ago. This is one of the coolest people I've ever met. And when we went to Nashville, Mickey had us meet with Walt, and Mark was a friend of Walt's who had his own home studio. So we just recorded with him, and we had some session musicians come in and play.
So actually, he got George straight.
Well, okay, so here's the story on that, and I'm sure Walt doesn't mind me sharing the story. Hey, Walt. He was in the military as well. They were both stationed over there, and they told Walt to go find somebody in the ranks who could play country music for everybody. And you found George Strait.
He did a good job. He did a good job.
Yeah, it's a really cool story.
Okay. Well, I'd like to thank you for being on our show this week.
Thank you. I had so much fun.
And we will look for you and say goodbye to everybody.
Bye.
Well, that was awesome. Great job, Will, and great job, Sarah. What a great interview. I think that was one of our better interviews. I tell you, if you get a chance, go buy some of Sarah Poole's music. You can find her on iTunes, and these are original songs, beautiful music. We should support our local musicians. I say it over and over again, support these folks. You can do that by buying their music online and by going to see them perform live at the venues across the Coastal Empire. So next week, we will return to our mission of focusing on local talent, and we will learn who that person is next Friday at noon.